Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, and I am at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, New York. You know, things happen for a reason. Yesterday, I found it impossible to get home because of the solar eclipse traffic, so I ended up staying the night, and while I was in my hotel room, I remembered this was here, and what a great chance it is to check it out. This is the historic train exhibit in the southeast corner of the New York State Fairgrounds. And I'm looking at the star of the show. This is Amtrak GG1 number 926. And it is on display here with a bunch of rail cars and a caboose and a diesel switcher, actually two cabooses. And we're going to look at everything while we're here. This is alongside the CSX mainline. Maybe we'll even get lucky and catch a train moving through. Anyway, the Central New York chapter of the National Railroad Historical Society owns and maintains everything you see here. Now, this GG1 in front of me is an electric locomotive, originally built by the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1943 at the Juniata Shops in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And these GG1s used to run on the electrified Northeast Corridor and from Philadelphia to Harrisburg on the Keystone Corridor. I did see the last of them run when I was growing up. However, I actually don't remember one in the Amtrak paint scheme, so this is interesting for me. This one was originally Pennsylvania Railroad number 4933, and it was originally in Tuscan red with the 5-stripe cat whiskers design. It became Amtrak's in 1971 when it was renumbered to 4926 and then later shortened to just 926 as you see here. It was retired in 1981. Now, when it was originally on display here, it was painted in the Tuscan red, and at some point, they repainted it in the Amtrak livery. It's holding up okay, but you can see as it's sitting in the sun, paint is starting to fade. So anyway, let's take a walk around this beautiful GG1, and then we'll take a look at what else is on display here. And if you're not familiar with these, you can see from the symmetry of it, it has a cab on either side. It could be operated in either direction without being turned around. I've never been inside a GG1 cab, but I hear they're very cramped though. So I don't really know anything about the history of these cars. This was really an unplanned stop on my eclipse trip. But I'll find some information online and put that up on the screen so that you know what you're looking at. But what I can tell, this one's a Carolina Southern heavyweight coach, because it says so on the back door. Interestingly, Reading and Northern has one of these. It's in rough shape, though. I'm not sure the status on the restoration of that, but, you know, I'll bring you a video when and if the time comes. This is a beautiful Delaware and Hudson coach, number 229. The CJ Brearley. I hope I'm saying that right. It's another heavyweight coach. And we've got our GG1 over here. And continuing on here, we have a Long Island coach. This one's a 4-axle, number 1149. And they've got a railroad signal tower on display here. Unfortunately for the signal, I'm filming into the sun here, looking the wrong way. But that's the best view I can give you. Then next up is the Baltimore and Ohio combine car, number 1302. The way they have the stairs going up to the one side, it looks like you can probably go in this during exhibits. And we've got another combine car here. There's no markings on it. I'm not quite sure what it is. Actually, let's see. There's some faded lettering here. So it's really hard to see. It looks like it says Charlie Along or Alonge. It's probably somebody's name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. 1938 to 2012. Perhaps it was privately owned. Obviously, if I find any information, I'm going to caption that on the screen. Over here we have New York Central caboose number 19144, and it's one of the offset cupola cabooses. Wood siding. Looks to be really nicely maintained and restored. And what we're looking at here is a GE 45-ton switcher built in 1948 for the Crucible Steel Company. It's a center cab switcher, and these were just used for moving cars in the yard and such. You can see on the trucks they actually have the driving rods similar to a steam engine, but that would mean that one set of wheels is powered and the other's just being turned by that driving rod. Never actually seen a diesel with that configuration operating. And this would be the front. We can tell that by the F marked on it. Now I've moved over to this side of the cars here. This is alongside the road. But I moved over here because I have a better angle with the sun behind me now. So we're going to start off here with the New York Central Bay Window Caboose number 21775. And I've had a couple caboose rides now, but never in a bay window caboose. That's got to be a different experience than being in one with a cupola. I love this New York Central green. And we've got some additional windows on this side. And we got a train coming. This is the CSX mainline in Syracuse, New York. Alright, and that was just a teaser. That was a long intermodal train, took a while to go by. So I'm going to put the full train in my April Railfanning Roundup video. You can see the whole thing there. And I might hear another train coming, but for now let's continue our tour. Alright, so we're on the back side of these two combine cars. Not quite as nice a view as the front. But we'll go back around, don't worry. Well, look at what we have here. I don't know if you can see it in the cracked paint, but they formerly had the Norfolk Southern logo on it. Hear a train horn somewhere. Can't tell what direction that's coming from. Here's the backside of the Baltimore and Ohio combine car. And the back side of the Long Island coach. Back side of this Delaware and Hudson. I think this one might be my favorite. The paint's a little bit faded, but it sure is some beautiful colors. And lastly, we got the back side of the Carolina Southern Heavyweight Coach. And you know, guys, it just occurred to me, I could have very easily have filmed and watched the eclipse from here. But I know Syracuse was only getting about a minute and a half of totality. I was up north in Rodman, New York, just outside of Adams, where we got about 3.5 minutes of totality. Here you're getting a good look at the balcony on the back of this coach. Reminds me of the back of our Black Diamond or Appalachian Trail or any of our other observation cars. And finally, we're back to the Amtrak GG1. And I'm surprised I didn't see this until now, but the Pennsylvania Railroad number plate 4933 is still in place on the end here. Well, thank you so much for taking the tour of the historic train exhibit at the New York State Fairgrounds with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the tracks.